to be professional counsellors going forward when you leave the university. So this little period here is going to be broken down into 3 bits. Initially, this is the first bit where I'm going to introduce myself and I'm going to pass on to the other staff members who are here. Then we'll do our welcome to country. Then I'm going to talk to you about maybe coming back to university and some great things that you need to get involved in and some things you need to do. And then I'll hand over to Fiona, who'll take you through some specifics about the actual course, which I'm sure you're actually only here for anyway, specifics about what you need to do. So my name is Anthony Benning. My training is in psychology. I haven't worked clinically for a while, but I worked formerly in lots of different environments like the army, private practice, in prisons. And then I sort of changed my career and I've been a full-time academic for a while. So I have a sort of that sort of skill set, I suppose, from a clinical psychologist point of view. We have a few of our other teachers in the room and I'll get them to stand up to introduce themselves, but I'll throw first to Fiona and Fiona will do the welcome to country a bit after. Maybe we'll do that now. I'll throw to Fiona and Fiona can introduce herself and do the welcome to country, and then I'll let the other staff members introduce themselves.
Okay. So as Anthony mentioned, I'm the newly appointed course coordinator. So I'll be your first point of call in terms of anything to do with the macro level of the course. Anything to do with your topics, your topic coordinator is the first point in call, but I'll go through that a little bit later. So my background is in social work. I'm an accredited mental health social worker. I worked in as a mental health clinician for over 20 years in a variety of different spaces. So child and adolescent mental health services, coordinating mental health programs in primary mental health care with divisions of general practices of Medicare locals and things like that. I've worked in the area of suicide prevention before, as well as private practice and well-being, so mindfulness groups and things like that. So that's me. I came to be teaching probably in about 2016 with the first lot of low intensity cognitive behaviour therapy programs rolled out in Australia. So that's my special area of interest. So I co-facilitate the low intensity topic with Vicky and also help out with some of the placement coordination as well. All right, let's get on with the welcome or the acknowledgement of country, I should say. So I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which we are meeting, which are the Kaurna people. And I told this story before at our meeting this morning, but I'd just like to tell you a little bit about the storyline that is here in place here in Bedford Park. So I don't know how much you know. You might know a lot about it. You might know a little bit, but we're standing on Gilbrookie Dreaming land. And so what I'd like you to do this afternoon is to tell you a little bit of a story about Gilbrookie. So Gilbrookie was not a powerful man, but he was a very clever man, in terms of their dreaming. So he was really instrumental. He was a fire keeper. Now, if you know anything about the other tribes around the place, the Paramank people in the Adelaide Hills were the fire people, and they would used to trade flint and things like that. So Gilbrookie traversed the Paramank lands in the Adelaide Hill, as well as on the Kaurna, the Adelaide Plains area. Now, Gilbrookie had a very much loved nephew who one day went out hunting, and he took his half brothers with him. And Gilbrookie didn't want to go. He decided that he wanted to move camp because that's what traditionally they did. They had a summer camp and a winter camp. So he was moving camp to a point down at Kingston Park near the sea. Now, the name of Kingston Park, I have to have my notes for this because I do forget, so is called Tulakutunga. So that's the traditional name for Kingston Park. And if you go down there, there's actually a monument to Gilbrookie at Kingston Park Point. So anyway, back to the story. So Gilbrookie's nephews, they were out hunting for emu. And so they were off and away and hunting. And then Gilbrookie, who set up camp, decided that he would travel south to go hunting down that way. And so he was hunting emu as well, and he came across an old man emu and started stalking the emu. What then happened was that in traditional law, you don't go and take somebody else's emu. So if somebody is going to hunt the emu, you have to leave that well alone. Anyway, unbeknownst to them, Gilbrooky's much loved nephew came along and he killed the emu that Gilbrooky was hunting. And so there had to be reparation for that. And so Gilbrooky needed to go and either spear his nephew or kill his nephew. But instead, Gilbrooky let him go because the nephew was very remorseful and cooked over the fire the emu and shared it with Gilbrooky. So Gilbrooky let him go with a pardon. Anyway, while the nephew was cooking the food, he got spat in the face with the oils from the emu and it blinded him. As he was, being spat in the face with the emu oil, the two half brothers came and killed the nephew because they were jealous of the nephew because he was, like the golden child of the tribe. Anyway, so Gilbrooky found this out, and then the half brothers were deceptive and they blamed it on other people. Said, no, Gilbrooky, we don't know what happened. But they did, they really did. So anyway, Gilbrooky found out. He carried his nephew all the way down the coast. And at each of the spots where he cried his tears, there are now springs, natural forming springs, all along the coast at Port Wollonga, at Hallett Cove, all the way down to Cape Jervis. And those became the traditional camps of the Aboriginal people because there was a natural water source there. Anyway, Gilbrooky decided to place his nephew's body in a cave down near Cape Jervis. And once he had done that, Gilbrooky decided that he had lived his full life and wanted to transfer to the spirit world. So he went through in amongst the cave, and when he came out of the cave, he became the glossy ibis, which is now the totem of the Gilbrooky dreaming. Now, next time you come to campus, if you are travelling down South Road, and you're coming along Sturt Road, there's this kind of interesting looking silver figure on the corner there. Guess who that is? It's Gilbrooky carrying his nephew in that parcel. So now you know the story. So when you pass by that place, you will know that that's Gilbrooky and you know the story of the local dreaming. So there you go. So we would like to acknowledge that story. We'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands on which we are meeting. We'd like to acknowledge their ongoing spiritual and cultural connection to the lands and the waters. And we pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and extend that acknowledgement to any First Peoples that we have here today. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks, Fiona. I should have also added before when I was mentioning who I am, I'm the discipline lead. So I'm not directly responsible for the course anymore. So your, I suppose, direct contact will be Fiona, but I'm sort of overseeing the discipline as a whole, and the course is part of that discipline. So I'll be involved just as much as Fiona and the other staff in, your journey along the way. So if you have any questions, again, you can approach anyone, and I'm going to introduce some more of our wonderful people. So Michelle, do you just want to stand up and say hello?
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. I'm topic coordinator for Clinical Practicum 1, 8033. My background is as a social worker. I'm an accredited mental health social worker and spent over 10 years working with adults in the community mental health teams for SA Health. So yeah, that's me. I'm looking forward to working with you all.
Thank you. You got to come up so you're on camera.
Hi everyone, my name is Roshani. So I am your topic coordinators for 8044, which is the fundamental skills of counseling, and also 8035, which is the theories of counseling. So my background is that I've been a clinical counselor and psychotherapist for nearly 7 years. I've worked in addiction, and then I worked in community mental health and employment services. And at the moment, I do a lot of work in the disability space as well. I've also worked overseas in Sri Lanka and Malaysia, and do have some experience working with mental health with diverse cultural population groups as well. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you all in class.
Thank you. And Rashini's partner's from Mauritius. I believe there's someone in here from Mauritius who needs to identify themselves later. So then we'll say hello. So one of you want to stand up so you're on camera?
Hi, my name's Di Cameron. I'm topic coordinator for topic 8019 and 9037, which is a second semester topic. And that's fundamentals of clinical practice. My background is in mental health. I'm a professional mental health clinician, and I went through my master's here, which was the Masters of Mental Health Sciences, Cognitive and Behavioural Therapy. We were many years ago. So I've worked in private practice for over 10 years and worked 20 years in the mental health practice through government and NGOs through various programs, clinical lead, and I'm also a supervisor. And I have areas of interest in private practice that incorporate disordered eating and relationship and sexual concerns. So I look forward to meeting you and working with you.
Thank you. And the last one. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Hello, hi, I'm Leanne Hill. I am topic coordinator for cognitive behavioural therapy for psychological disorders. I'm also a supervisor for the clinical placements. I also work in private practice as a clinical psychologist. I've worked in lots of different areas similar to other people within correctional services, child protection, working with schools, but have settled on private practice working with adults. And I'm also a researcher here. I'm in a balanced role of teaching and research. So if anyone's ever interested, I'll do a plug now to help out. But yeah, that's me. And I look forward to, so I won't see anyone in first semester. It will be my topics run in second semester. So I'll see you then.
Thank you. And yeah, I meant the last person in the room, so I didn't forget about you, Vicky, because you're very important. So Vicky, do you want to just talk to us now?
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm Vicky Quartermain. I am topic coordinator for 8018, and I'll be working with Fiona.
We can't hear you, Vicky. We're just doing something on our end.
No, you can't hear? Can you hear me now? Hello? No. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So I'm Vicky Quartermain. I'm topic coordinator for 8018. So I'm working with Fiona, who's held that particular topic for a very long time. So big shoes to fill there. So that's low intensity CBT for psychological disorders. My background was mental health nursing, and I trained nearly 25 years ago in the UK, as you can tell by my accent. I became a CBT therapist in the UK probably in about 2010, something like that. So probably about 15 years ago. I've worked in inpatient, community, assertive outreach. I live out in Broken Hill. I've worked for the Royal Flying Doctor Service a couple of times. And I'm currently just starting private practice doing supervision and CBT, and I work 2 days a week for Flinders also. So that's Tuesday and Wednesday. So that's me, I think.
Thanks, Vicky. Just wait till you see this. There's no echo. Hang on. There we go. Are we all right now? Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm just going to talk to you initially about, I suppose, getting started at university. And Kelly, do you want me to throw to you quickly now? Do you need to go, or have you got a bit of time to hang around? All right. Okay, so if you flick to the next slide, because I can't remember what's coming up. Has everyone got on to access their fan and everything? Yeah. Maybe it's better if people can put their hand up if they're having a problem with it. Then I'm just going to assume that everyone is kind of set. Yep. So that you know, your fan and your password is what you need to get onto all of the sites, onto Canvas, onto you know, all of the things that's available through the university. So it seems like everyone's got that set. All right, we'll go to the next one. Has everyone enrolled? Well, there's huge numbers enrolled in our topics already, so I'm assuming most people have enrolled. Is there anyone in here who's having problems enrolling in topics? No? Great. Okay, we'll move through that as well. So we'll move to the next one. Has everyone got their ID card? Yeah? Yeah, no one not? Great. Everyone happy with their photo? You haven't? No? We'll go you first. So you can go order your card through the website. Yeah, have you tried that and not working, or you just haven't got around to it yet? Okay, make sure you get your, you know, I'm not happy with my photo. What about you? Right. Okay. Yeah, you can get a new one, log it on, and yeah. I was going to say I have the same thing because, you know, I've got a ponytail in an old one, but it's not really reflective of who I am now. So update that. Okay, next slide. Everyone's enrolled, so let's just move through that. Who's been up and walking around O Week? Everyone? Who's got red frogs? I got 6 red frogs the other day. I went round and round and walked past the entrance, and they gave me a red frog every time. So we're kind of good in locate. This will be the room that will be, all of your subjects will be in this room. Okay, it's very rare for us to do that, but we managed to get all of this room locked in for all of the topics, so you'll be familiar with this room. It's got a fridge at the back. It's quite large. We've got breakout spaces on either side, so at least you won't have to move around the campus. Coffee, toilets are just out the door. Coffee, you know, you've got options either down in the hospital or up at Grind and Press. So when you have coffee breaks, you know, we're going to time you. You have to run up and get a coffee and be back. Up around the main campus and the hub, it has got most of the food and the other facilities. You can go for a walk around the duck pond. Takes about 20 minutes. It's a good way to have a bit of a stretch and get outside in the fresh air. The library is also up there. Does anyone know where the library is, or this is something you're yet to explore? Yep, you've been to the library, or you just know where it is? Fantastic. Yep. Great. Okay, so your topics should be live from the start of this week. Can everyone get access to the Canvas sites? Yeah. So those just looking forward to next semester. A week before the semester starts is when students get access to the Canvas sites. Now, we've got a lot of information on the Canvas sites. You'll find that for some of the topics, some of the information for things that are going later on in the semester aren't up there yet. That's intentional. We will put that up there, you know, in plenty of time, but we're still preparing that. But all the information to do with the topic, the assessments, the SAMs, everything like that is on the Canvas site at the moment. Does everyone know what I mean when I mention the SAM? No? You'll get familiar with all these little acronyms, but a SAM stands for Statement of Assessment Methods. And each topic has got a Statement of Assessment Methods, which means that if you ever want to check what you're actually required to do for the course and how it actually relates to the learning outcomes, it's on the SAM. So when you're on your Canvas site and there's a menu on the left-hand side, one of the options will be SAMs, and you can just click on there and you can find out the information. A lot of it will be repeated, maybe in just, easier to understand words on the information about the topic, but the SAM is always there as a quick guide. Can you flick through? Thanks, Fiona. Parking. Now you get to love parking here. The best parking spot for us here is parking lot number 1, which is just kind of behind here. Is everyone in number 1 or people in other places? If you've got topics in the morning and you get here in the morning, you might have a chance of getting a park in parking spot 1. If you don't and you have topics in the afternoon, you're going to be up to the other parks, but that's fine. You can just walk down then, get your physical exercise. You have a choice. You can either buy a parking permit, which will last you all semester, or you can pay for parking via an app, which you download. And I forget how much that is an individual day. Does anyone know off the top of their head? There you go. So you need to work out what's best for you, depending on how often you're going to be here and the load that you might have. But they're the two options. If you do park up in a car park, far away, it's not really that far away, but there are loop buses that you can grab in case someone sort of like needs. It's a hot day. Who wants to walk on a hot day sometimes? Okay, move to the next one. All right, so there are lots of scholarships available through Flinders University, and if you feel that you are eligible for a scholarship, have a look at them first, apply. They're open to everyone. Everyone's entitled to apply, so there's no harm in applying. So this is the page. Again, you can get to all of these pages just from the Flinders main page and just typing in whatever you want to look for, scholarships, and it will take you to this page. But have a look at that, or come and talk to me or Fiona or any other staff member, and we can talk to you about those. Next one. Safety. So at Flinders University, we have a zero tolerance policy, or I don't actually know what the correct term is, but we want this to be we want this to be an inclusive campus for everyone. So if you see or witness or anything, you can make it confidential to report to safety on campus, or you can come and speak to one of us, and we can discuss what needs to be done there. Okay, great. We'll move on. We have at university a service which is called Health Counselling and Disability. Through this service, as you can see a doctor or a nurse, you can chat with a counsellor, you can talk with a disability advisor, or you can access lots of self-help resources. If there's anything that you need needs to be accounted for, that maybe an adjustment needs to be made to your study plan, how your experience at university, go and talk to someone because maybe some plan can be activated, and we can help however we can in your study here at university. They have counsellors which are free to students. Just if you need a bit of support, that service is open for you. So you can contact them 9 to 5 on weekdays, and their access number and email is just available through the Flinders website, and they have an after hours support line there as well, or SMS service. So all those details are available on the website. If you flick through, Fiona.
I just want to reiterate that we cannot make adjustments to any of the assessment items unless you can provide grounds to do so. So it's really important that if you need to get a disability access plan because there's some issues that might affect your learning, that you please do that, because then we can work with you to make adjustments to those assessment items and give you standard. For example, you would get a standard 7-day extension on each of your assignments. If you have an access plan and you ask for a 7-day extension, we have to grant that straight away. So it's really worth doing if you think that your learning might be compromised in any way, and that will allow us to support you in the best way possible. Yeah.
Thank you. What's the next slide? All right, Oasis is the Student Wellbeing Centre, another great service that Flinders offers students with all of those programs that you can see running. You know, I had a student, just to highlight something specific, I had a student who was working through Oasis at the markets that happen every week. I didn't even know they did stuff like that, but they do amazing stuff for the students. You know, and if you don't know that they're there, you don't know to access them. So please have a look and find out what's available. Click to the next one. International student services. How many international students how many onshore international students are in the room at the moment? Great, we have a few. So I'll come and talk to you all after to introduce ourselves, because we've got another catch up, you know, coming up next week. But great to have you here. Welcome to Australia. But there is an international student service. I'm sure you've got a lot of information about this already, because they do a lot of things to support you as you know, on your journey through Flinders and welcoming you to Australia. But we within the discipline and within the counselling service, we'd like to do that a lot as well. So we'll speak and you know, get you integrated with all of the other Australians who are in the room. Okay, next slide. Yes. Okay. Well, I was going to tell you that big surprise next week, but Rosheni and I, and everyone else, but mainly initially Rosheni and I are going to lead it. We're going to have organise a bit of an international student sort of like group to support you along the way. But yeah, Roshini, I don't want to steal your thunder, but Roshini was an international onshore student. So rather than this privileged white man standing up here trying to imagine what it was like, Roshini can help guide me and us, and to you know, make sure you have a good experience. Thank you. Okay, so these are just another list of all the services that are available. We'll flick through that. Okay, this is just the next couple of slides, and I'll get you to flick through fairly quickly, Fiona, about orientation. You know, log on to Flow. There's lots of orientation things available this week to introduce students to Flinders. And to give you some tips about, you know, studying as a university student, and there's lots of videos available. Flick to the next one. We're in the middle of O Week at the moment, and you would have seen as you go up there, when you were waiting in line for your free lunch, or when you got annoyed by the long line of the free lunch, there were lots of other services available and sort of things to sign up. There's like fencing clubs, there's debating clubs, there's football clubs, basketball clubs. Get involved in a few clubs if you can. Flick to the next one. I don't know. Oh yeah, I should also point out there's the tavern, and then there's is it Alero? Alero's the fancy one. I don't like the fancy one. The food's not, you know, a bit. I like the tavern. The tavern's got good burgers. You can get a truck burger. It's honestly one of the best burgers you can get. All right, flick to the next one. This is the stuff about O Week. Get yourself a red frog. get the ones that are on the plates. Don't get the ones out of the packet because you don't know who else has touched it. But if you get it off the plate, you're assuming only one person has touched it to take it out. Okay, next one. Connect week. Flick through that. Okay, so Connect week, I think I think the next slide will tell us when it is, but I think it's at the moment now. So there's a postgraduate student afternoon tea that everyone's invited to on Thursday, which is, when's that? Tomorrow. Next week. Next Thursday at 1 to 3. Where is it? Does it say? Great. No, it's not. It's over there. So we're in the health sciences building, but the next building over there is called the Health Sciences Lecture Theatre building. So if you see, that's the difference, all right? This is health sciences, that's the health sciences lecture theatre. And on this level, if you walk out here and you go over to the health sciences lecture theatre building, you're on the level where room 3.09, 3.06 to 3.09 is. So it's a lovely big space. So that's where they'll be having the afternoon tea. So we'll flick to the next one. So on the very next day is the mature age student morning tea. So I went back to uni to do my undergraduate when I was 30. So I was one of the mature people sitting at the front of the room with no hair. So if there are other people like that and feel that they want to mix with more mature people, everyone's mature though. I don't know why they do this separately, but this is the morning tea for mature age students. And it's in Flinders Medical Centre, level 4. And I don't know where that is. I know where the Flinders Medical Centre is, but when you walk under the tunnel, what level are you on? 5, so it's 1 floor down. Right, okay. I can help people find that if they want to go. All right, next one. Okay, so now I'm handing over to the lovely Kelly just to introduce herself because she is a great point of access and support for all student stuff.
And I've got lots of friends who join me in the office. Hi, everyone. The camera's over there, so they're getting the back of everyone's heads that stand here. So that's why I wanted to say hi to them. So my name's Kelly. I work with Tess, and I'm an enrolment and course advisor in the College of Medicine and Public Health. We're located on level 5 of the Flinders Medical Centre, just outside the Gus Frenkel Library, which is another library you will come across should you venture down there and say hi. We do get let out every now and then to do things like this, which is really cool. And in that office, there's 30 other people. So if we can jump to the next slide, we have a passionate group of people that specialize in things like timetabling, assessment, study plans. That's my area and Tess's area. We love to figure out a way to make sure that you can undertake the study you're here to do and do it in a way that suits you and your life. Because let's face it, life gets busy and sometimes changes need to be made. So we'll do our best to support you the best way possible. We have a wonderful team. As you would have come in, you would have met Amanda. She was giving out the name tags. We've got Taryn's about to walk through the door because she's looking after the next session. And I like to put them on the spot when they do this because we have a very welcoming team who will help you with whatever query you have. If we can't answer it, we're the people to ask, along with a bunch of other support staff around the university. But if you need one point of contact, please make us. And you can do that by, next slide. You can ring, email, ask Flinders. Whatever you do, though, please make sure that you give us as much information as possible. Your student ID, your full name, and the query. We get a lot of Ask Flinders requests that say, new study plan. I go, that's great. We sent you one a month ago. Why do you need a new one? And it's because we've changed circumstances or the topic, the option topics change for this person. So if you can just give us a little bit more information, that would make our job a lot quicker and it would be a lot quicker for you than when it comes to enrolling. If you do have any trouble enrolling or finding what you're after, with regards to your topics. We can direct you and also provide you with any information that you're struggling to find. And I just covered that top part. So really, that's it. Just make sure your details are up to date in the student system as well. Because if you keep that up to date, it feeds through to all the other systems within the university, and that also helps us. So we're here to help you. We just need a little bit of help from you in the process of providing us with what you need. I look forward to seeing you around. I'm going to hand you back.
Thanks, Kelly. Hey, that's before I go to this slide, that's a really good point. And hi everyone online. Sorry, I haven't been facing you before now. You've just been seeing the back of my head as well, but great that everyone's there. When you send emails and you communicate with us, it would be really great every time you do it if you put your student number, because we have to, I'm terrible with names. I'm great with faces, but I'm terrible with names. And there's a lot of people in the course at the moment. So if you give us a bit of a hand by putting your student number on emails, it makes it easy for us to then look up, you know, the answer to whatever we need to find out. So that's just an important note to add. Okay, so we're in O week. Classes start next week. So next week is week 1 for the university, but our classes don't start until week 2. All right. So that's, if you hear about people saying classes start and you're thinking, well, what the hell am I doing? Where is my stuff? Our classes don't start till week 2. All right. So that's it. The last day to enroll in topics is in week 2 on the 8th of March. So that means, I mean, everyone's at the moment, I think, because I've kind of looked over a lot of things as to which students who are here are enrolled. I think everyone's enrolled in topics. But if anyone wants to make any changes, come talk to us. We've got till the 8th of March. Now, the census date is on the 29th of the March. Census date is the date that you need to keep in mind that if you're going to withdraw from a topic, because once you go past census date, the government charges you and the university charges you. So if you have enrolled in some topics and you've enrolled, for example, a full-time load, and this was all well and good, but something's going on in your life and it's not appropriate, or it's not practical for you to do a full-time load, and you are deciding, hey, maybe I want to move down to a part-time load and change that to 2 topics a semester, come and talk to us and we can help you talk about the logistics of that, but it needs to be done before census date. After census date, you're going to be charged. And the last day to withdraw without failure is week 9, but we can talk to you about that if it comes to that situation. Unfortunately, you international people, you're full-time. You don't have a choice. So if it's too much, we need to talk about other things, but it's what it is. All right, next slide, Fiona. I just want to talk to you. I put this slide up there just to let you know about academic integrity. Here at Flinders University, you know, we want, as a student, you know, we want to become a part of a community that's committed to the principles of academic integrity, which ensures the reputation of Flinders and hence the reputation of the degree that you're going to be leaving with. So, you know, there's, in a nutshell, we're trying to avoid plagiarism, all right? We want you to produce your own work, your own thoughts, your own thinking, and then to submit them for, you know, for assessment. We use Turnitin software. So you have a, if you produce, making an assumption that no one's going to intentionally try to plagiarize, but if you are writing something and you're not sure about how you're referencing it, or you're not sure sort of like how it comes up, you can use the Turnitin software to actually give you an assessment as to what is actually showing up, or, you know, where you need to maybe change how you're referencing material. That's free software and that's available through Canvas. So you can use that before you submit any assignments. And yeah, I just wanted to make you aware of academic integrity. Yeah, well, what Fiona's mentioning is we know that AI is out there at the moment, and AI is, you know, we're not shying away from AI here at Flinders. So we're not saying you can't use AI, because some of the AI engines are very sort of like useful maybe to help you get started with something, you know, with some thoughts that you're looking to do. But then, you know, and Flinders encourages that to a point, but then we need to see you put your own work and your own thought into it after that. So the AI thing is a bit sort of not tricky, but it's not unheard of. You can use it, but you need to sort of like, you need to not put your own thoughts on top of that. In regard to our assessments, we've changed a lot of assessments in our topics. So there's a lot of practical examples and practical exercises and skills that you have to show to to avoid some of those AI problems. But AI is here to stay, and we just need to work with it. All right. Don't use it. Don't submit something that's totally done by AI, because we'll have software that can identify that, and we'll actually know what's your work and what's AI. Well, we hope we will know that. Okay.
So just often with within the university, there's the traffic light system, which tells you how much AI you can use for various different assessment pieces. So green means that go for it, use it however you want to. Orange is that there's certain parameters, and red is obviously not at all. So the topic coordinators will tell you about that as you move through the topics about which assessments are allowed to use it in part or none at all.
Thank you. Okay, the next slide I've got up is purely there. I just put this in this afternoon because we've got such big numbers in the course at the moment. We've been a bit surprised but pleasantly surprised and happy that we've put forward a great course which offers people a lot, and a lot of people have signed up to come and study with us. But the numbers are high, so I need everyone to be a bit patient and to be a bit understanding. In that we've got a room that is a large room, but in some of especially the fundamental topics, we're going to have some people online and we're going to have some people in the room. So we're going to be working this blended sort of learning setup. We'll have an academic in here on the computer, which will be looking after the people online, and obviously the topic coordinator presenter in here talking to the guys that are in the room. But I just need you to, everyone, I suppose, practice a bit of patience with us, and be aware that sometimes things will go wrong, even though we'll be limiting that. But I just wanted to point that out. So on some subjects, we'll have 40 people in here and we'll have 15 or 20 online. So the large numbers that we're sort of dealing with here. Thank you. I just wanted to point that out. Okay, so this is all our photos. So here I'm handing over to Fiona to take you through, I suppose, the bit of logistics around what you'll be doing within the course. These are all our lovely photos. So this was me when I was a bit thinner and a bit younger. This is Megan wanted me to point out, well, she didn't. She specifically said to me, don't point out the fact that I've got this full-on, you know, professional shot, but I'm pointing it out now. So she put effort into that. And you can see everyone else. This is Tim. Paula's not here today. Paula is engaged in another sort of activity, but you'll all meet Paula. She's a senior lecturer here in the discipline. She's a mental health social worker by trade, but she's been around for a long time, like Fiona and I. And who else is here? This is Adriana, who works as a support for us in admin. And this is Tim. Tim is one of our supervisors, as well as Megan. Tim works in the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in a crisis support service. Is that what it is? No, it's a short-term mental health brief intervention service at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, and he's fantastic. He's a great supervisor, so he'll add a lot of value to the course. All right, over to you, Fiona.
Right. Yep. Thank you. All right. So as you're aware, the counselling programs with Flinders have been accredited through the ACA, which is the Australian Counselling Association, and with PACFA, which is the Psychotherapy and Counselling Federation of Australia. So just to let you know that with the ACA, that they've accredited the diploma to a level 1 in terms of membership for the ACA, and our master's program is level 2 with ACA and level and provisional with PACFA. One of the things that you need to be aware of, and I think you've already received some. Maybe I do need to hold it. Received some correspondence around is the new requirements as part of that accreditation, particularly for PACFA. And what that means is that if you're looking at doing the masters and gaining that accreditation with PACFA, you must attend all timetabled sessions where there's a face-to-face attendance in this room. Okay. The other thing that you need to be clear about is that if you are currently in the graduate diploma of counselling and you want to have the option of articulating into the masters, you must also attend every session that's timetabled in this room. If you're not worried about that and you're just doing the graduate diploma for your own professional development and it doesn't matter to you to get PACFA accreditation, you can attend online and get the ACA accreditation. So just so that you're really well aware of that, if you want those accreditations with PACFA, you need to be in the room with us, and we shut the door and we don't let you out. Okay, just so you're clear. Okay, this is one of, if you don't know already, you will know by the end of your masters that Anthony really likes making tables. And this is one of his beautiful tables. Yeah. And basically what this demonstrates is your progression through the master's program. So you can see here at the top, you've got the fundamental topics, which link to the graduate certificate in counselling. Okay. And they are prerequisites to the placement. Okay, so you must complete all of those 4 foundation topics before you're admitted into the placement topic. Now, from then on, you've got a little bit of flexibility as to how you progress through the rest of the program. So it might mean that, you know, in here, you would likely do your placement 1 at the end of your diploma, so in second semester, but sometimes people aren't ready for that. And they might want to defer placement to down here, and that's okay. And then that just means that second placement is deferred down here. So after the graduate certificate, there's flexibility within how you move through that progression. This is just a typical way that you do. Okay, so you can see there that the part of the graduate diploma, you've got some other topics there. One of those is Leanne's, so cognitive behaviour therapy for psychological disorders, the motivational interviewing. You can flip that with trauma and complexity if you wanted to. So depending on which one you wanted to do first. And then you've got the first placement topic. Placement topics are 9-unit topics. They go for the whole of the semester. They are non-semester topics. So we have some flexibility then with start and end dates of your placement. Then you've got some of the other topics down here, including those option topics. Now you just need to be aware that some of those option topics are only available in a certain semester. So you'll have to work out your plan moving forward. Say if you really want to do First Nations health and wellbeing, that's only offered in semester 2. So you'll just need to work out where you need to do that in your study plan progression.
Fiona, can you hear me?
Oh, Anthony, you're meant to be monitoring that.
Send her a text to find out.
Fiona, no, just to say that online you might not be able to see that very well. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Just to say that online we can't see that very well. So is there somewhere that this is available?
Yeah. Yeah, Anthony's just saying that it's just to show the flow rather than anything else. And that if you've got any issues with it, then come and speak to me. As in me, not him. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit less likely to be flexible, and remembering that you still need to do those first 4 core topics before you do the placement. Yeah. So that might mean you're not doing placement until, if you're doing 2 subjects a semester, it might not be until next year that you do placement. Yeah. So this is another one of Anthony's wonderful tables. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, they do and can change. So, but if we can investigate that and we can potentially add that into your study plan. So all of the options that we have up there are just options that we've chosen as suitable for you. But if you found something else that kind of fits in better with the direction you're looking to take your degree, happy to look at all of those options, and Fiona can work out all of that with you. But yes.
So what we've tried to do this year is, because we want all of you here working with us face to face, we've really tried to condense the subjects on specific days. So you can see here, let's say on the Tuesday, if you're a full-time student, you get 3 topics done on the Tuesday. And then you might have, we've also got the therapy skills. So what that is in the little purple there is that it's a non-timetabled session. It is timetabled? Okay, it is a timetabled session. But what it is, it's not compulsory. Yeah, timetabled but not compulsory. And what we've really wanted to do there is to offer people an opportunity to come in and practice. So remembering that for you, if you're looking at going into placement at the end of those 4 topics, that means some of you will be hitting placement next semester. You might want to do some skills work before you start seeing like real people. So that is an opportunity to practice the skills that you're learning in your topics across the course of the semester, just so that you're feeling more confident and in your skills before you hit that placement topic. So we've provided that, and each one of those sessions will be facilitated by one of the academic faculty. So that's the way that we've devised that, so that you will be also mingling and getting to know the rest of your cohort as well. So I think that's a really fantastic thing that we've done this year. Remembering that the last day to enrol in topics is, what did you say? March the 8th. Yeah. So this is new too. We have a behavioural health landing page, and that's a great way for you to start getting information about the course from that kind of meta perspective, and also looking at the course inherent requirements, and those outline the qualities that we're looking for in terms of students for at the end of your studies with us. So what we're wanting to push out into the world, fly little birds fly, fully formed as wonderful counsellors. Not fully formed, you'll be fledglings, we'll just kick you out of the, no. But for you to begin that journey, and so that you can continue to develop yourselves as counsellors within that profession. But we expect a level of competence, and so does industry. They expect a level of competence for you by the end of this course. So that's got all of that outlined. Industry placements. So we have 2 placements in the Masters. We have the placement 1, which is really developing your initial foundational skills as a counsellor. And most of those placements will be around supporting people with guided self-help support in various different locations. So some of those might be face-to-face, organisations that provide face-to-face counselling. Some of those organisations are in New South Wales and Victoria and all sorts of different places where you might do telephone-based guided self-help support. So we have a variety of placement experiences. Then in the Masters, we're really looking at placement 2, extending your competencies across working with diverse and more complex populations from a variety of different theoretical perspectives, although we hold to the CBT model more than some of the others. So you'll see that along your studies, there's a slight bias towards cognitive behaviour therapy, and that's just because it always has been part of this course, and industry like that it's part of this course because we teach you how to do a therapy quite well rather than lots of different things just a little bit. So just in terms of your placements, they're quite extensive. So you're required to do 125 hours per placement, and that includes 40 hours of direct clinical contact. And then there might be requirements like 10 hours of supervision, 10 hours of shadowing. There might be some role play involved as well. And then the rest of the hours make up your administrative, case management, note taking, all of those reading of articles and the evidence base, all of that contains the 125 hours. I think that's about it for that one. Yeah, here are some of our industry partners. So we've got Lives Lived Well, which is an organisation in Queensland offering guided self-help support. We have Australian Unity with Remedy Healthcare. They offer telephone-based guided self-help support, as does Beyond Blue and other new access services. We're also partnered with the Country PHN and with Country and Outback Health, Richmond Fellowship Queensland, Status Employment Services, Sonda in Elizabeth, which provides mental health services and support within primary care, links to wellbeing through NEMI. Who else? Headspace is another one. We've just set that up last year. So we've got a few placement opportunities with Headspace. Murray Mallee General Practice Network out at Murray Bridge. So all sorts of different kinds of placements, and we'll be extending the variety of those in the coming months. So watch this space. Is this me too, or did you want to speak to that one? Yeah. So, right. So we also go through a quality improvement process. All of the courses within the university do. And one of those requirements for the course quality improvement process is to get feedback from our student cohorts. And so we're asking you to consider whether you'd like to be a student representative on our course quality advisory group and to be a point of contact for your peers if there's any complaints about the course or anything, any improvements that the student cohort can give feedback on, then you would be one of the points of call for that, and then you would feed that back to the academic faculty during the course quality process that we go through. So that we usually meet once or twice a semester, so it's not hugely onerous, but it's a fantastic way for you to get involved in continuing improvement for this course. So have a think about that. If you're interested, then give me a hoy. There might be, if we've got too many people who are interested, then we might go through an expression of interest application, which will just be a one-page application of why you'd really like to be involved. And I think that's about it.
Screen so I can see. Can you still hear us, people online? Yep. All right. So let's open it up to anyone in the room or online. Ask us some questions. What are you concerned about? What do you don't know? What's not clear enough? Are you just here for the food?
I was just
Oh,
wondering.
Natasha, I think you're wanting to say something.
The
Can't hear you though. So
oh.
let's. Go, Natasha.
The therapy skills practice, is that the tutorial that came up in the schedule on the Wednesdays, or is it separate?
It is timetable. It does come up as the tutorial, yes. So those therapy skill sessions are a new idea this year. As Fiona explained, just because we thought it would be a great opportunity to allow students to come together if they want to mix with the other students because there are some activities that require partners and there are opportunities to learn and practice skills and ask us. We can do role plays. There'll be different academics there at the time. So all of the sessions that are scheduled for the topics, I'm just going to use example MHSC 8019. The scheduled seminars are all you need to attend, but what comes up in the timetable on Wednesday afternoon are optional. You can come, you are encouraged to come, but if you can't fit it in and you come 2 out of the 5, that's fine. All right. So you'll see those appear on your timetable scheduled under every topic. So the Wednesday ones from 1 to 2 or 12 to 1, whatever it is, they're the optional ones.
Thank you.
Then I'll come to you. Yep. Yeah, both. So Kelly and her team, so Kelly and Tessa are the two course advisory people who are kind of assigned to us. They can help you through that, but they don't know the topics, I suppose, intimately. So you can come and talk to Fiona as the main port of call, or you can talk to anyone else. But again, Fiona's the main port of call, and we can look at, well, what is the best kind of flow for how you would go that best suits your needs. And as long as the prerequisites are met, there's options. I've spoken to a few people on the phone already, and some of you might be in the room because you were telling me everyone has commitments. Some people are working full time. Some people have kids. We have kids, and we just have to live our lives around them as well. So for some people, the scheduled timetable didn't actually work because we had to try and adjust what days they could fit in time off work. So in which case we brought some topics up earlier, which have less of a commitment, and we could sort of like maybe schedule it that they only need to take a certain time off. So anything's possible, just come and talk to us. And as far as we can, we'll adjust it and make things work. Yep. Hi, Bianca. Yep. When you say externally, what do you mean? Right. So what are you in, the diploma or the grad cert? Great. No. So for the certificate, you can, we're not an online course, but we do have virtual attendance. So you, for example, if there's a seminar at 9 till 11, You have the choice of attending that virtually from your own home, which then allows you to do maybe what you need to do work-wise or anything like that. You don't have to come in here, but you have to attend the sessions at the prescribed times and for the duration that's there. But knowing or understanding that if you do that, you then limit your chances to articulate into the masters, the diploma first, because you won't have met the face-to-face requirements. Yep. Okay. The intensives, but yeah, if you can take those days off, that would be great. Yes. Yep. It's each subject will have a set, maybe I think 8019 has week 2, 3 and 4, and then something in the next fortnight or something. Some other subjects have something every fortnight. So as the the dates are all laid out, but it's not a every week sort of thing. Each topic has its own sort of articulation of those seminars. Does that make sense? Why did I say articulation? That's not really what I meant. It. Timetable, that's what I meant. Hello.
You have to pay me a lot of money. And Michelle. So we do help you find placements. If you've got a specific place in mind, and this is probably more for domestic students who understand the mental health system in Australia perhaps a little bit more. If there are places that you've got an interest in working, then let us know and we can get the work integrated learning team to approach those places. We also approach places and particularly looking for at the international students. We've got some connections with some really good organisations that are really supportive. We're also looking at getting our own student-led clinic up and going for next semester. So that will also provide some opportunities for placements there. But that all becomes much more apparent as you move along. And if you're an international student, then we really handhold you that whole way through. No, you'll be sent out an email halfway through the semester that says this is what you need to do to start preparing. Yeah. Yeah, the work integrated learning team will want documentation and proof of those vaccinations that you've had overseas. And if those are compliant to the Australian standards, then they're fine. Yep, not a problem. So you'll just work with the integrated learning team. They've got a checklist about what they need in terms of ensuring that you're compliant before you start placement, and they'll work with you on what documentation you'll need for that process. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah, get the cheapest that you can find. See if there's any students within the cohort or ones that have been through that want to sell you books. So, you can we could probably have a little thing up here because we'll have the placement, we'll have the master's students who have gone through before. So if you're looking for a textbook, you could probably stick an announcement up and we can let the other students know. Yeah. But most of the textbooks now we try and source electronic versions of, so that you can download the chapters that you need if you prefer the hard copy books. Yeah. We'd prefer you to have two separate places. This is a real opportunity for you to try before you buy almost. And so really looking at, trying a few different options and seeing what's a really good fit for you, because you'll get different experiences in the different organisations. So that's what we would prefer. It's a lot of it's actually all up for grabs, and you just need to come and talk to us. And part of that is because we've got people already in the workplace who can use their workplace for their counselling placement. Yeah. Yes, you can. You can do a paid placement if your organisation agrees to it. And it fits with the requirements of the learning outcomes of the placement. Yeah. Yeah. You can, but it's a negotiation between you and the place of work. Yeah. And it has to meet the requirements of the course learning outcomes. Just, yeah. You can choose whether you come in to do the practice of counselling skills. So you might find that if you're already working in the space and you feeling pretty confident with your counselling skills, you might not see the value in coming in and attending that 1 hour. If you're newer to counselling and really wanting to practice those fundamental skills, then we'd be suggesting come in for those where you can and get a feel for how to put those skills into practice. And we can work with you on that. The other thing that I just wanted to bring up too is that we kind of had a bit of a vision as a team for this space, and one of there's a couple of staff members who have a passion around neurodivergent learners. And so we're really wanting to make this space as safe for people as possible, where you feel like you can learn your best. So what I'm just putting out there is that we're going to be really open to hearing feedback from you as to how to make this space, sensory stimulating or sensory containing for you, so that you can feel like you're getting your needs met and you can stay attuned to the learning process. So please reach out to me and the rest of the team if you've got any suggestions about how we can really make this a really safe space for all learners. Yeah, okay, that'd be great.
I'll just add that I've already put my neck on the line by stealing some furniture from the university and bringing it into the room already. A couple of lounges and these chairs. So well, you did, yes. They were elsewhere and we physically brought that in. Only the start, but if people have, I don't know, spare plants that they want to bring in, I don't know if that's allowed, but we can try it. There used to be a connection in this room that I had with admin, but she's no longer part of that connection. So I'll have to find other ways to find out if it's possible or not. It's a secret. I'll keep her identity secret, but she knows who I'm talking about. Any other questions? So I'm just looking at the time and it's 3:16. I don't know if it's the best thing to do now is maybe leave it there, but we're staying here. Have something to eat, ask us questions. We can hang around for the next 20 minutes or so and just leave it open for you. Does anyone online have anything they want to ask? Because you don't have that luxury of hanging around and talking to us. No, everyone's all right? Thank you so much for coming. No one's? All right. Thank you so much for coming, and I'll say that to everyone. And we look forward to seeing you. International students, we'll see you soon. But we look forward to seeing everyone else on Tuesday, week 2, which is the first day of teaching. And 8019 is the first cab off the rank. So we'll see you for that. Thank you, everyone.